Hi everyone, I'm Sean and today I'm going to be doing another editing video of my book Keeping Strong. The last time I was editing the 4th draft, this time I'm on the 5th draft, so I wanted to show you guys the changes I'm making and go through why I'm making these changes. So here we go.
Oops, oh, messed it up. Here we go. Dang it. There, hey, hold it.
Okay, so something I did differently with this book, and I've never done it before, but I actually started editing from the back of the book to the front. So I started at the last chapter and edited that first, and then I went back to the previous chapter and edited and worked my way back. And the reason I did that is because I think when you start a book, you have all your energy at the start, and when you get to the end, you're kind of tired, you just want it to end. So at least for me, when I get to the end, I kind of rush through it a little bit more, just eager to get done with it. And the same thing goes for editing. When I start editing a book, starting at the front, by the end of the book, I'm kind of tired of editing, so I just want to get it done with. So as a result, the front of the book, I think, may be very well edited, or I don't want to say that exactly, but it's very thoroughly edited. Whereas the back half of the book, I'm kind of rushing it more. So what I did this time is I started at the back of the book, so that way I had the maximum energy at the last chapter. And as a result, I think it worked out pretty well for me because the back of the book has more thorough editing this go around. So I might make this kind of a habit of mine on the 5th draft to edit from the last chapter and work my way back. So it's pretty interesting. I didn't do that the whole way through the book. I edited about half the book this way, working my way back, and then I finally went to the start and just went through the book until I finished it. So that was something different I did this time. Maybe that will help you start at your last chapter and work your way back, because you'll have more energy and you'll be more thorough. And also, the back of the book, I've maybe been over it like 5 times. Whereas the front of the book, I've been over that, 10, 20, 30 times. So the back of the book is really where you need to focus more, at least for me. So a little bit of advice. Something else I got to warn you about is that this book does have some profanity and some adult scenes. So you may see a stray word or two that's pretty adult. So hide the children. Darn that Mr. Holt for telling you one of them. I promise we cleaned up afterwards. Just got rid of a comma because I felt it was slowing the pacing. Because Rose was an even 4 feet tall and he a looming 6'6", it was easy for him to lose track of her. Got rid of for him because I felt it was pretty unnecessary and just slowed the pacing a little bit. Something that was a major focus of this draft is I notice I tend to have, some short paragraphs. So what I've been trying to do for this draft especially is to link paragraphs or all that sorts of stuff. So you'll see a lot of these. This means basically moves this paragraph up to there. And there's a lot of reasons I do that. A main one is just for pacing. And also, I don't really like books where it's real short paragraphs, real short paragraphs, real short paragraphs. So I want to try to have a varied paragraph length. So maybe a 6-sentence paragraph, maybe a 2-sentence paragraph. I just mix it up. I don't want it to be all short paragraphs because to me that gets boring. So a main focus of this draft was the paragraphs. I don't know if I was trolling readers here, but it says his hair was long and messy, the color of a horse's saddle. Well, what color is a horse's saddle? A horse's saddle can be literally any color. So I don't know if I was trolling readers there, but I was leaning toward keeping it. But what I kind of decided was, since soon in the book I say that he has otter brown hair, I just go ahead and mention in this part here that he has otter brown hair. You might notice this sentence from the previous editing video. The hand was small, warm, and bony, but the grip was firm. I got rid of was because I felt it was just kind of an unnecessary word, so the hand was small, warm, and bony, but the grip firm. It's just a little bit more compact. This is something I try to get rid of a lot in my books. It says here, he thought for a couple seconds. I don't like when it says like he thought for a moment or whatever, because all you need to do is say he thought, and readers can figure out for themselves. Does he think for a millisecond, for 2 seconds, for 5 seconds? So saying for a couple seconds, I just feel is unnecessary, so he thought. And then he goes on with his dialogue. He grinned, amused how sleepy she was, and he snuck a kiss on her cheek. Got rid of he because it's just unnecessary. He grinned, amused with how sleepy she was, and snuck a kiss onto her cheek. You from here? Texas. Houston. I got rid of Texas just because Houston is large enough where he wouldn't need to say Texas. He could just say Houston and it's obvious. It's not like it's a dinky town like St. Petersburg or Green Bay or something, so he just says Houston. Strong swallowed hard. I just felt hard was unnecessary. A lot of the edits at this stage are also just about pacing. So right here it says waiting for Strong to finish off the French toast, then taking the plate to the sink and washing it, Creed asked, blah, blah, blah. I felt that was kind of a mouthful, so I tried to change it up a bit. Waiting for Strong to finish off the French toast, he then took the plate to the sink and washed it, period, and then go on with the dialogue. So it's trying to make the sentence a little bit less of a mouthful. You can see here just some more changes to paragraphs. So move that up there and over here, and move this up there and move that up there. So just tweaking paragraphs. Trying to cut down on wordiness. So Tessa, in the previous page, it says she's in Texas, shows she's wondering where the tumbleweeds are, why they aren't rolling around the interstate. I didn't need the interstate. Where were the saloons with bat-winged doors? I got rid of this where were, because since you have this here where were, I think it just could be cut. So in the end it reads, where were the saloons with the bat-winged doors, the marshals on horseback, the cattle drives, the gun-trotting religious conservatives. I don't know if it should be gun-tooting. I guess it's trotting, but I don't know. It doesn't sound right. But the gun-trotting religious conservatives. Houston was a regular big city. It wasn't like the Texas she imagined it. After merging right, I just didn't need right, so after merging, and move on. This also shows how I'm trying to link paragraphs. So right here, I thought this paragraph could be joined with that one, but since I have this dialogue here, she woke as he opened the window blinds, letting sunlight in and casting her in a white-yellow glow. Oh, she groaned, turning onto her back and covering her face with a pillow. So I just tweaked it a little bit, so I rewrote it. She woke as he opened the window blinds, letting sunlight in and casting her in a white-yellow glow. Groaning and turning onto her back, she covered her face with a pillow. Oh, so that would be all one paragraph now, rather than having it 2 paragraphs. So it's just a little change I make to the book, but it's all for all sorts of reasons. So again, this time it's just for pacing, for paragraphing, I guess. I notice I did this a lot. It says how his fingers fluttered through her hair. Throughout the books, both Keeping Strong and I think Keeping Creed, I have Creed touch Tessa's hair a lot, I think. And I guess in part of it, it began to bother me because it's like, either one, her hair is made up the way she likes it, so if he touches it, it's like he's ruining it. And if she's not happy with her hair, if he's playing with it, it's only going to remind her like, oh man, my hair is such a mess. So I don't know how many women feel this way, but I think it may be a thing, like, just quit touching my hair. My hair's all perfect, or just don't bring attention to it, or I don't know. So I'm kind of changing the book where Sam does not play with Tessa's hair so much. I mean, it's like he respects her. I don't know. He doesn't want to mess it up, basically, because she likes her hair and he doesn't want to mess with it. A woman 50 years in age came flying around the corner. I made this change, just changed it to barreling, because I know some readers would read flying and they would take it literally, like, oh, she's literally flying around the corner. I think it's pretty stupid that people would read the book that way, but still, I just changed it to barreling around the corner just to kind of appease those dummies. And also I thought this paragraph could be better down there because this woman comes charging around the corner. If I have this long description, I think readers could get lost. So I just continue right here, charging toward Creed and blah, blah, blah. So I moved that basically up there and I moved that paragraph down there. So it's just switching it around. I felt this line could be moved up to there, and the way I do that is by changing the sentence around. So it'll go from here, cherry blossom period. She inadvertently blurted, "Wow, you smell good." So just making that change allows me to move that line up to there. Just more tweaks to the paragraph. That line gets moved up there. This line goes up there. That line goes up there. This is a small change, and I don't know if it's a good change or a bad change, but basically Sam and Tessa are up in the hotel room, and I had them originally get naked to have their dinner or whatever, so they're just eating naked in bed. But then I thought some people may find that weird or gross. I mean, just eating while someone's junk is right in front of you. So I don't know if that would be like a cute romantic thing to have dinner naked in bed together. But I kind of decided it'd be better just to get rid of it. So presumably they are still clothed. What do you guys think? Would that be a romantic thing, having dinner in bed naked together? Or is that more just like, ooh? This is probably going to be a headache to edit, but apparently I'm moving that line up there, and that gets cut. That line gets moved up there. This creates a new paragraph. That line gets moved up there. So this is probably going to be a little bit of work to figure out exactly what I'm meant to do for this whole section here, but it's all about trying to make the flow better. Right here again, he said, combing his fingers through her hair. I'm trying to get rid of it, so I just changed it to stroking her cheek. So, avoiding him playing with her hair. Another thing to comment about women, do you like guys playing with your hair, or are you just like, quit messing with my hair? What do you think? This whole chapter is a little bit long, so I got rid of this paragraph. Not really because it was unnecessary. Well, it was unnecessary, but it was less necessary, and the chapter is already kind of dragging on a little bit. So just get rid of a little chunk there. Same thing over here. Are you okay, Tessa? Yes. Well, that's not really vital to the scene, so didn't need it. Same thing as earlier. I realized this line could go up there, so I changed it to he insisted at once. Mom put that there, not me. Now, this, I'm having kind of a conundrum here. Tessa sees this picture of Sam's high school prom date, and it says she has a voluptuous figure and also that she's rail thin. What do you guys think about this description? Because I know it's pretty contradictory, saying this girl has a voluptuous figure, but she's also rail thin. Now, most readers should know that to mean that she has a big bust, but she's also real thin. And part of why I have it this way is that Tessa is neither of those. She is neither voluptuous or rail thin. So those words are kind of meant ironically from her perspective and to be kind of scornful that, oh, she's voluptuous and rail thin. So it's sort of meant to be coming from Tessa's perspective. But what do you guys think? Is that just a bridge too far, saying voluptuous and rail thin? Because I could change it to any number of things just to say she's voluptuous and I don't know, or I don't want to say she has hourglass figure because that's just so common, but I don't know. I'm iffy about this little section. Really, I don't mind it personally. I'm fine with it, voluptuous and rail thin, but readers may read that and be like, oh god, what's Sean thinking? More tweaks to paragraphs. So again, moving this line up there. So the way I do that is to say, popping a red peanut M&M into his mouth. West spoke, about time you showed up. Little amusing thing I changed, but Sam is in the FBI building, and so he goes in the elevator and he hums the theme to Mission Impossible. Well, I realized Mission Impossible is he's not in CIA's and IMF, but it's just a different organization altogether, so I changed it to he hums the theme from Criminal Minds in the elevator. So just a little change, but I wanted to change it to an FBI type show, not a CIA, IMF type show. So just a little change. You can see though, for the most part, I changed a word there, I tweak a paragraph there, change a word there, change some paragraphs there, get rid of a comma it looks like. Over here, this page is pretty good. I just move that line there. Move a couple paragraphs there. So mostly at this point, the book is pretty close to being finished. There aren't too many changes per page. And that's a good sign. That tells you it's getting close to publication. Just trying to find a way to link these paragraphs. So she inspected his expression in the mirror, but made up her mind quickly. Then I move this. What do I move? She tossed something into her purse on the counter. Lucky, wish they'd let me off work. Can't wait till my library reopens. I miss working there. So that would be all one paragraph. So it's pretty tricky just the way I move this right into there. But it allows me to have this all be one paragraph. And hopefully it makes sense. So made up her mind. She tossed something into her purse. Lucky, wish they blah blah blah. Can't wait till they blah blah blah. And that'll all be one paragraph. So it's just a little change, but it takes a little bit of work to figure it out. It's like doing a puzzle. Some people may get a kick out of this. He spoke calmly. Doesn't that sound like the Harry Potter line? Dumbledore spoke calmly. But I cut it. J.K. Rowling kept it. Just adding a dialogue tag in here. So what did you think of Harrison? He asked. This is just Sam and Tessa in the scene. And right here you could tell she looked at him and says that. So you could tell Tessa's speaking here. But there's still these 3 lines of dialogue where if I did not have the he asked, readers may not know, is this Tessa asking the question or is that Sam asking the question? So instead of just waiting till readers get to there to see who's talking, I just said he asked right there. So you know this is Sam, so that's Tessa. So that's Sam, so that's Tessa. Now at this point you may notice I begin to make more changes. And the reason for that is because we're getting toward the end of the book. So this is where I started editing at the back of the book. So I was more energetic for the editing through all this process here. And this part of the book hasn't been as thoroughly edited as the front part of the book. So the back of the book now, we begin to see some more changes. And that's why I think it's useful to begin editing at the back of the book. So I notice more things here. And that's why I have more fixes. And so you see the front half of the book has like 1 correction per page, and already we're seeing a lot more messier pages. And this is a good thing actually, because it means every single one of these corrections should mean the book is that much better. And I'm already pretty happy with the book, but to have this many corrections, it feels good. So I'm happy with it. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you just see more corrections, more corrections. A lot of corrections down there, a lot down there. I won't go through them all, but a lot of corrections on that page. And I'm real happy with that because that means the book will be that much better. Hey, look, a couple perfect pages. That's nice. So the book isn't a complete mess. And there we are again with another couple perfect pages. So another good sign. And then reality sets in. So if you saw my first editing video, there was a chapter at the end of the book where I had a ton of changes. So after making those corrections into the computer, this is basically the chapter that resulted and the changes I made from that. So it's still a fairly messy chapter. Not as bad as before. It just shows you that chapter needed quite a bit of work. But now it'll be a bit better. So that is the 5th draft of Keeping Strong. So I'm going to make the corrections into the computer based on this draft. And then I'm going to order the 6th draft. And that may be the final draft. I don't know. I may do one more draft after that. We'll see. It just kind of depends how much energy I may have. I may just not be able to bear reading any more of the book because I've been working on this book for about 6 years on and off. So I'm pretty ready for it to be done, and I'm also really eager to move on to the next book because yes, there will be another book after this. So yeah, that's the 5th draft of Keeping Strong, and the 6th draft I should begin within about a month or so. Once I get a copy of the book, I'm going to order another copy just like this one and edit the book again. And after that, it may be ready to publish, I don't know, but I'm thinking sometime maybe around November it may be ready. We'll see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.